We will go to the air in a northeasterly direction. Obviously, any campo militare. I suppose we could be going straight up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Straight east. Or indeed any of the other directions of the compass which end up there. Yep, true, there's plenty of them. Optic are out. Vega's come out. Vampire Games not going to his gas station this time.
No, no. And Ghosts are going to be back in Port Tavares, of course. M19 lost their owners. Most of these positions here, they are reachable by a long shoot with a parachute or dropping for a car, of course. El Pozo slightly going to be hard here. They're going to be going through in Monte Nuevo, which were Tainted Mines reside. So we'll see if these guys are able to pull something off. But will anybody go Campo Militar? No. Secret, they're going to go El Azaha as they were before.
It's the only team out. So, I mean, the whole of the northeast side is free. Look at that. There's just so much free space there.
And that's just because you think it's so hard to get back again, should you need to.
It is. It's too far away. If you get a southern circle, it's just too far.
Yeah.
There's your spread. There's the map. Fiend is most northerly there for Secret as they're spreading around about Alizar. Let's go with Cameron and Esquire to see what happens on the final day of day one.
Thank you very much, Matt Hayes and Avenger. We are back here for our final game of day number one on Miramar. My name is Phil Esquire Stewart, joined here by Cameron Davis to bring us home for the final game of the day. But Cameron, it's been exciting so far. I'm only expecting that to continue on here. And Avenger, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get that Campo Militar. 5 games, you didn't get it. But there are 3 more days for the entirety of the tournament to where we might see that play out.
Yeah, well, 1 more day specifically for more Miramar games. But nonetheless, I want to point out another interesting adaptation on the map. It's actually going to be Optic completely swapping up. They're going directly under the plane route, quite close to Na'Vi. I was a little worried that Na'Vi would try and abuse that and take a couple of kills, but looks like they were fine, being separated for now. Watching other people drop down as well, grabbing their own vehicles. Oh, Vampire Game, though, finds an opening and gets a very, very early drop onto Benchu.
Yeah, certainly not what you want to have happen. Not even any armor to Vampire's name right now. Just an M416 and a dream, and that dream was to knock Benchu out, executing on it very, very well. And he's just going to roll out an easy 7 points for him to pick up early game.
And he knows that there's a bike there.
Absolutely.
So it's going to be good for him to pick up later, of course. I don't fault Benchu for going for that vehicle, though. The chances that there was anyone in the compound next to him who finds a weapon immediately, runs out, able to get a knock on him before he drives off, that's something you really just can never account for. So hopefully that doesn't tilt him or the rest of the team too much.
But if it does, you have an evening to get over that tilt.
Yeah, at least this is also the last game. At least it's also the last game. He has an entire, let's call it maybe 18 hours to get untilted.
Something like that. But I mean, speaking to that in specific, I mean, it's sort of like a thing of PUBG. I mean, sometimes there's just the unknown, something that you can't plan for, something that almost if you do plan for it, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to be rewarded for the planning. So it's just unfortunate for that to happen. But here comes MVP rolling into El Pozo. They pushed out a squad earlier. I believe that was Optic, who we now saw dropping into the Los Higos area, really favoring that southwestern portion of Miramar now.
Yeah, absolutely. WTSG on the lonesome themselves. San Martin have that entire space to get loot for themselves. And, well, they're going to need it because, as we saw on the leaderboards, they're not doing too hot. They were looked at as one of the main favorites coming into this one, but they're currently sitting in, what is that, 11th place?
Yeah.
They're definitely going to want to improve, and they have the time to do so.
Exactly.
They have this game plus 15 more ahead of them, so they're not out of it just yet. But they obviously want to start as soon as possible, and they're not alone. Every team in the bottom 8, they want to climb themselves up.
Absolutely. Every team's goal is to make it into our final stages where it will be 4 days of games just like this.
4 more?
But with so much more on the line, Cameron. I mean, the ultimate prize, the prestige of walking away as #1 for the StarSeries I-League Season 2 event. I mean, it just means so much to these guys, and you can really tell when you walk past these guys, you see the emotions in their faces that they want to be playing as well as possible. Method going to be opting for that beautiful Picado drop, not going to be contested at all. And look at this, we've got our icons up, going to be showing us exactly where our teams are currently posturing themselves.
Watch this by X-Quest right now. They had a decent spot in the circle, but immediately, the first chance they get, they looted up. I don't know how much loot they have. It's certainly not, I'd be surprised if they were able to loot that entire area, But they say, you know what, this kit is enough. Let's move out. Let's find a decent, like a better spot in the center of the circle, more central than they already are. That is being proactive, and that's what I really like to see in a lot of teams coming out of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with you on
Do
that.
they go for the crate, though?
You know, it would be a dangerous decision to go for the crate.
It's always a
given
dangerous
the fact
decision. That's not what I asked.
Right. So Cameron, no, they don't go for the crate right now.
Okay.
Smitty's going to be going for the crate. Certainly they don't know that either of these teams going for the crate. It's going to be deadly. Certainly both. And here, all 4 cars of XQuest turning towards the crate right now. They're going to be opting to do this. Xiaodu up on the hill, going to be providing a little bit of overwatch for his teammate AK, who will be reaping the spoils off of this crate.
Yeah, this is definitely going to set them up very well. So able to continue this run and hopefully get themselves a 3rd win. Not in a row, of course, because Optic have wedged themselves in between.
That level 3 kit just so good, Cameron. I mean, it really provides so much armor for these players. And a lot of the time, we even see some of that armor being traded off back and forth between other teams. But here comes yet another squad rolling up on top of XQuest. It's going to be Team 17, and both of these teams have been extreme threats throughout the course of today's games, looking to just push that even further. Rotating out of Picado, though, it's going to be Method.
Yeah, 17, they love the center, and XQuest, they seem to be backing off a little bit. They don't want to fight early at all. Divine moving. Ghost taking shots on the Genji. Chelator moving past. Not making enough connections to stop him, unfortunately. In fact, Chelator is still at full health, but unfortunately, he does run himself into a rock. Line of sight not perfect for Biolek, but he does rotate around. Still not landing any shots onto the player, though.
Yeah, here comes Turtle, though, down the road the opposite direction. Will be passing up by Chelator right now. More and more transitions beginning to happen as the Blue Zone will be pushing in on circle number 1 right now. 4 minutes and 35 seconds until that restriction will finish. But for the meantime, these squads on the western side of the map have at least a little bit of time to make their way to the east. That far transition so difficult to make here on Miramar.
Yeah, and choosing what direction to come in from can also be a little difficult sometimes. You want to guess where the heaviest population is going to be and try and avoid that, and the early game is the hardest part of that. Luckily, thick population still isn't that thick because it's only the first circle. There's still enough space, but it can still sometimes be a little sketchy, especially on Miramar, where a lot of the roads or even dirt paths over hills easily turn into choke points.
Yeah, I mean, choke points or just areas that can disable your vehicle. I mean, a bowl or something where your vehicle might flip or just stall out almost completely, losing your momentum. It can be also deadly for you in these transitions. But here we go, more and more happening. We see some shots coming out from Genji right now in the centralized portion of the circle onto Ghost Gaming, but at least for the time being, they're going to be safe. We can see those shots right now on the top part of our screen, flying over from Ghost Compound onto Genji. The other 3 members of Genji directly above Ghost Gaming right now. Everyone just trying to reunite, but AT from Method going to be peeking over the hill. He hears the shots. He's going to be trying to get some information.
Yeah, he's got his teammates up and joining him too. Na'Vi also making the rotate down from south, and if you were paying attention to this area on the minimap just on your screen earlier, you can see how close Na'Vi, Optic, and even Divine are with each other. And so we may see some action down there in the rotate before they even get into the circle. Secret, though, they have some action of their own because Victory 5 rolling up on a compound just below their hill. Smitty, though, doesn't want to stick too long out there, doesn't want to lose any durability on his armor, and he's going to pull back.
You know, Cameron, this is exactly what you were talking about. Victory 5 taking the time to rotate to a less or what they assume to be a less populated area of the map to find themselves on the northern side coming down in. They didn't expect a team to be there, but Secret was already there. But one team in the grand scheme of it all, preventing you from entering the circle, is a lot better than 4 or 5 teams right at the edge.
They tried to go center. There would be a lot of work ahead of them. Ghost and Gen G, a little bit of a stalemate right now. Compounds don't have the best line of sight onto each other, but Method, they have a good line of sight onto Ghost, and so Ghost now, in a way, pinched between 2 teams. Long distance, any connection most certainly will not turn into a kill unless there's an overextension by that said player. But you can still try and deal some damage. XChris took a bullet himself, right to the chest.
Right to the chest, but yeah, I mean, exactly. Put out some poke shots, take some attrition out of your opponent's bag of tricks, trying to do whatever you can to whittle them down. At the end of it all, when you have 35-minute games, it is a game of survival, trying to get as much through to the end game as possible, and whatever you can do, it might come back to help you. You just never know, but you got to do whatever you can, be it disabling vehicles or just putting out the poke shots, trying to put out a little bit of damage when you even know that you can't get a knock or a full kill. But here we go, looking around the map, more and more crates going to be dropping down, providing level 3 kits and guns for any of the players that are ballsy enough or lucky enough to see it drop down. They will be getting an AUG and a nice level 3 kit along with that, should they be finding it in the El Azahar area.
If anyone goes for this, I can't imagine that anyone would, though. Fiend is in a position to go for it if he wanted to, but that is a likely spot that V5 are now watching because of that crate falling, and so that may just be a trap.
Might just be a trap indeed, but here comes a welcome to South George. We're going to be rolling up on this compound where Team 17 is currently holding, or possibly a scout holding, a position around in the compound directly adjacent to that, so they need to be careful. Meanwhile, though, Method going to be drawing some fire from Vega. Very, very long-range shots. I mean, true to form for Miramar, Cameron, this is what we're used to seeing, these long-range engagements with these wide-open hills.
No full connection so far, however. Even with those open areas, it's still some long shots. And so you got to have a really good scope or just really good leading.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. We're 11 minutes into game number 5 of the day and only have one player going out so far, Cameron. Yeah. It's going to be Ben Chu from Tainted Minds. So it seems like these teams are either avoiding conflict more so than they did in the first 4 games of the afternoon, the evening, or maybe they're just playing it a little bit more passively, trying to end off the day strong.
I mean, this isn't too different from what we saw in the first 4 games. Miramar actually, even though the rolling hills you'd think calls for more action, it also calls for more third party, and because of that, you see a lot of more conservative play compared to Erangel. Erangel, you're able to recognize the line of sights that you have on you, able to isolate your fight from any other team that wants to come in. Miramar, it's a lot more difficult, and so if any team wants to go for a fight, they either must really want what they're going at, or they need to be super confident that they're not going to get third partied.
Yeah, exactly. Next circle is up, going to be centralized pretty much on the center point of our previous circle. So for the most part, these teams are expecting to be in a good position for this next circle. Not too far of a rotation to be had with so many teams congregating towards the center point of our first circle of game number 5. But here we are now, 1 minute and 50 seconds until the blue zone will be constricting on circle number 2. Let's see where these rotations are going to be taking some of our teams.
Ghost still trying to deal damage to teams rotating around them. Have some shots on the M19. Still not able to land too many shots, but it does put pressure on the M19. We'll see if they want to take part in this poke war themselves, if they want to try and answer back, or if they're going to be too pressured by those shots to try and peek their heads out themselves. Elite player rolling up, final player of M19, they're going to stay as 4 alive. Not in the center of the circle, but it's still a decent spot for now. In the meantime, Shu from Team 17, SLR are going to be shooting down on the Knights, who are rolling up into the mine. Not too far from Method as well.
Yeah, 2 teams rolling into the mines. Method on the eastern side of the mines, and then the Knights on the west, and then directly to the north, Team 17. Here we've got Divine rolling into a compound of their own, but they will be taking some fire from a team way off in the distance. And if my eyes serve me right, that's going to be Team MVP. 2 of their teammates in rotation right now in a vehicle. The other teammate's going to be now meeting up with them. Alpaca going to be, I guess, leading the charge now in the direction that MVP is currently going in. So not a bad spot for them to be in. Wide open fields, but certainly a lot of lines of sight to be had.
It's actually quite good for them in that area. It's quite empty. They're going to have to go through that field to get a compound on it, but they should be able to see for themselves that there's not much in their way. And so it's going to be a quieter early game for them. Method, though, not so quiet for them. I think they've come to contact with the Knights a little bit. Nades back and forth from both teams, alerting each other of their presence. And they're going to decide to back off, it seems. They don't want to commit too heavily onto this. Likely, or at least partially likely, because Team 17 is right over them. So they know that there is almost like an 80%, 90% chance it's going to be a third party.
Yeah, and looking at the map, we also have XQuest moving in on the eastern side, just north, sort of almost adjacent to where Team 17 is currently holding. So yeah, beautiful call from Method to get out of Dodge, because if they continued up north, they'd be running into not 1, not 2, but 3 deadly squads that you do not want to be running up on. Speaking of running up on, here comes Vega, Kippy and his teammate crashing onto the compound where Xiao Du from XQuest was hiding, and that's going to be an easy double kill for Xiao Du, walking away, holding the compound very beautifully.
And another one from Vega down as well. I think this is 3 from Vega, taken out so early. Definitely not a good start for them, and they've been struggling the early games.
Yeah, and Kimba 7 just got a crate too, so there's going to be a lot of loot on top of Kimba 7's body right there. So
I mean, no one's going for that loot. It's too out in the open, but that still removes those weapons, that armor, that level 3 helmet away from the game so early.
Exactly, and it's exactly what happened the last time that he got a crate as well. So unfortunate to see that happen, but now shots
immediately dropped.
I mean, almost baiting the revive, just letting him get it just to take him right back down again. Miracle going to be dropped. Gaxi sticking the res will be stopping the bleed out damage, but they need to be careful. Hiding inside of the concealment of the smoke for the time being, but we can see shots piercing through that veil.
Still trying to land. Miracle needs to find a spot to heal up. Can't stop just yet. This is Bat Country. Looks like he's going to stay alive for now. 17 still putting pressure over the mines just below them. Another crate's going to be dropping in, but that's way off in the distance. No one's going to be going for that.
A little bit too far off from any team's position to safely depart, or at least justify departing from the compounds that they are currently holding. M19 probably. Oh, actually, here comes Vega. He might be rolling up on it. I don't know if he saw it or not, but he is certainly the closest in the vicinity. Ghost still holding down in this compound, possibly taking some shots at M19. Far shots. I mean, really just poking, keeping them from pushing onto that compound. Meanwhile, though, Vampire for Vega going to be able to hold out here, I think, as a solo player, which is about as much as you can do at this point in time.
Yeah, going down to one player so early is always rough because like, the more area you have to travel, the harder snaking becomes. You don't want to use your vehicle because it alerts everyone around you to your presence, to your position, which is all right if you have people to help defend you. But if you're just by yourself, then you try and want to stay as quiet as possible. And the fact that he's on the edge means he's going to be crossing his fingers for a far shift onto him, and the chances of that happening are not likely.
Not likely at all, and as we are saying that, Knights are now going to be finding a connection onto Method. We saw them pushing towards one another in the mines area, but now they have fully engaged. Method going to be now pushing up on the back of Knights. Knights trying to get in their vehicles and just get out of dodge, but here comes the shots. AT and X-Chris going to be lining up shots onto Drayden and Texas. Maybe one connection onto Texas, but it looks like for the meantime, they're going to be safe getting out of this area entirely.
Yeah, Knights, it didn't feel like it was worth it to commit into that fight against Method even after dropping Woman because they want to get inside the next circle. It's going to be swing up in the northwest coming in from the west side. And because it's a hard shift away from where a lot of the shifts have gone, it's going to be a relatively open area up to the north. A lot of teams are having to rotate in right now, and you can tell just by how many motors you can hear in the background.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one, it's not two. It is essentially a car
like
parade. Yeah, there's about 20 cars coming
Leo,
down here.
no!
But here comes Bahawaka Optic just trying to still continue to be a dominant force in today's game. Is going to be wiping out JJ Leo of Divine. Now looking for the other member, Jet, who's currently inside of the building. Bahawaka smells it, and like sharks in the water, they're going to be surrounding this area.
Yeah, you want to find an opposing angle. Hopefully Jet won't spot him. Jet, I don't know if he'll be able to heal up or not just yet. He may have healed and immediately got taken down low, but he hears the vehicle coming up, knows that he's in a lot of trouble. He does have his teammates up on the hill above him to help him out, holding the angle, but apparently don't see Hypoc. Hypoc is able to throw a grenade in.
I think he thought that maybe the player was hiding inside of that trash bin outside, so he threw the grenade in there, peeks inside of the building, and it was only a matter of time before Jet was spotted and taken down and out. And that's going to be Hetor spotting out Nikki, who was on the hill just opposite of this compound. Just a world of hurt right now that Optic is putting out onto these squads.
Yeah, Levis is nowhere to be found. He dipped. He's out of there. He wanted no part of that fight. He saw the letters in front of him, and he wanted to get out while he still could, but that's another team who are down to just one. MVP, though, they have more. Ghost, they have more. They have all four, and they have the opportunity to run up on foot because they're so close. Ooh, Levis gets spotted. This is going to be Tainted Minds who get the last kill onto Divine, and so they get taken out first in game number 5.
16th place, not what you want to have happen, so certainly they're going to be trying to adjust off of that, continuing on here in this qualifier tournament, but pushing on our teams left on the map, going to be trying to vie for these placements. MVP still taking some pop shots, now going to be trying to find connections onto Uba from Navi, but here comes a bit of a flank. Pokemolodoy going to be wrapping up entirely right on top of Pain G. Pain G's got his M24 out, now switching over to the Scar, going to be trying to look this direction and get some shots off if he is able to have the opportunity.
Footsteps were definitely heard by PNG. So Poka, he's aware of that defender advantage. And so he's going to be pulling away from that. Doesn't feel comfortable committing onto it just yet. He's going to wait for his teams to help surround this position to take control of this hilltop. Optic, in the meantime, pushing forward, getting close to Ghost's area up on the southeast side. Ghost just barely arrived before this, arriving on foot, and they are aware of Optic's position. Balak swinging around the side. But Ghost, they want to swing around quickly in order to find these angles. They don't want to allow Optic to get strong positions in this building just yet. But Baja, he's coming on this hill. This is going to be a really big counter to Ghost. But in the meantime, Gen G taking shots on the M19, rotating in.
Yeah, and the elite player going to be dropped almost immediately by Loki, but the M416, here comes Senzen rolling on top, going to be finishing off the kill. But do they know about the other members of M19 that are rolling around the hill? And do they know that XMPL is right down the hill from this position? But meanwhile, Optic and Ghost are fully squaring off in a squad-on-squad engagement, our two NA teams from the tournament.
Oh, Optic doing so much damage to Ghost, but Gen G dealing so much damage to more teams, not just M19, but also Tainted Minds. Only 3 kills to them, but, well, that's an unfortunate wreck by M19. They had to take the long way around because of Gen G's position. But in the bottom right, Optic, they dealt so much damage to Ghost, but Turtle countering back. Don't know if he's going to be able to get a pick up on Allergen, though.
Turtle just connecting in spades with that Mini 14 onto the 2 members of Optic, Valiate and his teammate. Ooh, they need to be careful here.
Watch McCoy. We need to go back to that. We got to watch McCoy on the flank. He's going to be there to stop. There are still 2 members of Optic down. They can get the pickup, but if McCoy is there quick enough, and if Hetroid doesn't look, McCoy's going to spot him out, gets the spray down, and able to get the drop. Now there's only 1 member of Optic left.
1 member of Optic. He needs to do something here. He's trying to get up into the building, trying to get some vision on to where these threats are presenting themselves from. Bahawaka's got to do something here. His teammates are being absolutely ripped through by McCoy and the rest of Ghost.
Turtle, he's coming up himself. They're setting up a crossfire. McCoy is taking this opportunity to finish these kills. Doesn't want any funny business to happen, but Bahawaka, knowing that he's in a bad position, knowing that he's lacking the information on where the remaining 2 members of Ghost are, doesn't want to push out further than he can.
Yeah, Baja's just going to watch the stairs and wait for the impending rush should Ghost opt in to making this push. It can be risky, especially when you only have those 2 members up, Balak and McCoy, to work with, but they can pull it off if they actually try.
This is rough for Ghost, though. They know there's 1 member of Optic left, but they have to get inside the circle. The circle actually just started closing right now. It's 2 minutes, 15 seconds before it's done. They don't have to move too far, but they want to clear out Baja before they get inside, because if they let a snake chill out behind them, he's only going to come in and bite them in the back.
Absolutely. That is a threat that you do not want to meet in the late game. A solo player just riding along these hills, hiding behind rocks, getting those cheeky little peeks off at you and playing kind of a thorn in the side of your team. I mean, they might not get the squad wipe, but they might just put enough onto your squad to where you won't be in a position to take down that first place chicken dinner. But here we go. Navi going to be poking over the hill, spotting out the members of Method. X, Chris, and AT going to be both taking fire right now and taking down and out. And that's going to be Method eliminated in 14th place.
3 members of Method taken out in a matter of seconds by Navi. Method not watching their backs close enough. Navi cresting the hill. Perfect timing for them in order to get that wipe, and they stay 4 alive, took virtually no damage from that fight, and they're going to get boosted with even more equipment while they push into the circle. That southwest side is free for them.
Yeah, you got to love what they were just able to do right there. Team 17 going to be trying to find even more connections onto MVP right now. Siege bleeding out down the hill. Shu trying to find Alpaca behind the truck. Might be able to get his feet, and it looks like he's aiming directly for that, but return fire going to be coming in and taking out about 90% of Xiao's HP.
Yeah, he's pulling back from that. That made him humble.
Yeah, that's a bit of an eye-opener, right? Yeah. If you're out there in the open and all of a sudden 80%
Navi,
HP
they want more. They don't want to just take control of their spot. They want to go for more kills. They want to climb up the leaderboard, and they're pushing, wrapping around counterclockwise, and they're going to be taking on XQ. A couple of nades coming out.
We already saw Optic get dropped down to 1 player. Will our other team, who's gotten 2 first places on the day, be able to fend off the push from Navi? The 4-man strong squad, Navi going to be pushing up, though. Cobra taking a lot of damage. AK trying to fire back with that Groza that he picked up off the crate, trying to do something, but Drainus comes around the corner, able to pick up a knock on the Cobra, leaving just 1 player up there. AK, he's got a grenade out in his hand, trying to do something, but he's going to be knocked as well. Will be bleeding out.
It's now just Z9 Max wrapping up from below, trying to push up quickly before he's discovered. It's actually a 4th player going to be coming in, dropping Drainies. So the 2 players are trying to answer back. It's all just shade now, but Fiend is coming in. Is he going to save Navi in the meantime?
Oof. Long-range shots on Miramar can certainly be deadly on these open hills. Not a lot of cover for these guys to hide behind. That's why cars are so important for these mobile protection forts. But back and forth, these shots continue to erupt. The grenades are flying between Navi and XQuest. Will 1 squad, who will be able to walk out on top of this engagement? Xiaodao is trying to do whatever he can to be that team to do so, but Shade finds the connection and wipes out XQuest in 13th place in game number 5.
They got the revive on the Pokemon, and they did lose one, unfortunately. Oh, Poke got taken out again. WTSG with the long-range shot. They're going to have to get a revive there, and they can do it, but look at the minimap. Look how far away they have to move for the next circle. They're going to have to move directly through WTSG. But Gax gets taken out in the trade. Ooh, Ghost being pushed on by Secret. McCoy already finds 1. It's just 17 left, and here comes Turtle with the assist. McCoy didn't need it. Easy 2 for himself, but Turtle gets immediately taken down.
Oh,
and all
my
killed.
gosh.
Here comes Check Shooter from the back, wrapping around, wiping out Ghost. Once again, looking so strong, but going out in 11th.
Secret has not had the performance that they had wanted to see in games 1 through 4, but game number 5 is turning around for this squad. They are wiping teams left and right, picking up those kills, and taking out Ghost Gaming in the process is a huge plus for Team Secret as they continue on here in game number 5. But 10 teams remaining, 30 players alive. That's going to be a 3-player per team average, so you can just see how much these guys have lost in the process of getting to this point in the game.
Loki's crawling forward, I believe, trying to get information for Gen G. They want to take out this final snake of M19 example up on the top right. Bahawaka still alive. Tanking damage from the blue, has to med up before he continues his run in. But the damage that the blue is giving, plus the fact that he's forced to go around in an awkward direction, means that I really hope he has a lot of meds.
Yeah, Bahawaka's got a bit of a tough path in front of him, but we're going to have to watch to see if he makes it there. But here comes Team 17, going to be rolling over the hill directly on top of Victory 5. Will they be able to spot them out, though, coming over the hill before they are silhouetting themselves on the horizon and spotted out by Team Victory 5? We're just going to have to wait and see. Here comes Bahawaka, going to be rolling through, but Navi is going to be spotting out Team Secret, getting a quick down in in combination with the Blue Zone. The Blue Zone ultimately going to be getting credit for the knock on the Smitty.
Ooh, they're not aware that 17 is there. No, I lied. Uba's coming from the side, and watch that angle. Uba and Shade both getting down to themselves onto 2 separate teams. Loki and 17. Here comes 47 Gaver in a fight with MVP. MVP pushing in onto him and the rest of his team's position. He's swinging around the side, trying to get an opposite angle. Iron sights are all that he needs, except maybe not. Only lands a couple of shots. Pulls out the 3X. Still missing them, though. Finally, at the end, gets a headshot, but an nade comes flying through, able to dodge that, wrapping around, trying to grab a second angle to keep them guessing.
Ooh, whips out the SLR once again. He's got the 3 times on it, but does not care to put the 3 times on the M416. Throws a grenade, but takes shots almost immediately. Bahawaka going to be dropped out to the blue zone. That is going to be Optic Gaming in 10th place here in game number 5. Not what they wanted to have happen, but continuing on. Here comes MVP with the extremely strong push. Going to be wiping out 47 Gamer from Team 17. Just continuing to move inwards towards the central points of the circle.
Only one left of Team 17 is going to be QMCC trying to go dead center. But shots onto him is going to make it more difficult. In the meantime, Check is also a lone player for himself. He's got less than a minute to get into the opposite side of the zone, to get inside the next safe zone before the blue overtakes him.
Circle hard shifting up there to the northwest, going to present a bit of a tough path for not just Navi, but also Welcome to South George, Team Secret, Gen G, and then possibly the only member of M19 still left alive. I mean, these guys have a wide open area to cross from the east to west to get safe, and it's just going to be a time will tell situation as to who ends up making it into this next zone, Cameron.
Couple of smokes, trying to avoid the line of sight from Gen G where they push forward. Poka maybe finding Check Shooter if he's watching for him. Actually a little further away than I thought. First was watching the X-ray, but Navi are in actually interesting situation right now because they have to find their way into the circle, but they want to make sure that they take care of Gen G first, or else they're going to get stabbed in the back on their own rotation. But Gen G hunkered down in. They don't want to peek.
One grenade inside of that shack will be coming away with 3 kills. If only he knew. We would love to see it as spectators of this beautiful esport PUBG. But as we continue on, Texas is going to be spotting out Check, the remaining member of Team Secret. Secret wiped out in 9th place. A little bit better of a finish than they had previously in today's games, but still not what they are looking for as Team 17 continues to be a threat around the map. Only 1 player remaining for this squad, and he's able to pick up a quick kill.
WTSG ended up running into 2 separate squads. Larson finished, Vard taken down. Miruku left, has to make a decision. He wants to go to the revive or for the retreat. But V5, they're in a fight of their own. A little split right now. Knights have a position over them, but right now it's Navi versus Gen G. Gen G are letting Navi walk past them, and now they are stuck in the blue themselves. Terrible mismanagement of their own positioning, and now they are wiped out by the blue zone and the Knights, and Navi chiming in with some help of their own.
Yeah, so many sources of damage right now for that squad to have to deal with. It's just a little bit too much than they can handle right now. But here comes Welcome to South George. Miracu and Var going to be rotating in almost directly on top of Navi, who just saw Shade get knocked down and out. So Pokemolodoy going to have to do something here to pick up his teammate, but also has to be careful about the impending push up from the south.
Looks like he's going to go for the revive with the blues coming in as well as nades. Don't know if that made it far enough. It didn't matter because Texas had the angle to fight him out first.
That's going to be all she wrote there for Na'Vi. But continuing on, we have 6 teams remaining, 14 players alive, still 4 men strong for Victory 5. Down there, or up there rather, to the north, they're going to be looking very pretty, sort of pushing down, trying to cover as much of the play area as possible. And we've seen that time and time again. If you can get a dominant hold on the circle, you can almost prevent anyone else from making their way in.
Nice nade to immediately drop Kramer. It was maybe like 2 milliseconds when Kramer got revived before the nade went off, and so they got dropped again. Mirko trying to go for the spam through the smoke to finalize that kill. Texas backing off himself, wants to find an angle. Smoke comes through, giving Vard's position away, but he turns away at the wrong time. Vard had a smidgen of advantage in that fight, and he's going to use that to take down Texas. It is just Drayden left. V5 finishes off the rest of M19, and now there are only 5 teams alive. Only 1 with a full 4.
Yeah, and this full 4-man squad of Victory 5 is just hearing all of these shots erupt down to the south of their position, and they are wrapping around slowly, just trying to get this information as to where these threats lie. 5 teams, only 4 other enemy squads to worry about. Are they in a position, Cameron, to take away this first place?
They could. They have the man advantage, but they're on the low ground. So if MVP, if they take out WTSG and Knights 17, keeping most people alive, they could have a good shot into this as well. So V5, they want to make sure they don't overpeak this. They want to try and push forward slowly, gather map control while they can, because there is a fair bit of space in front of them. TSG, though, they want to go for this fight against MVP. They want to be able to push into the circle, but MVP are in the way. They're throwing out smokes to try and block the line of sight. Mirko taking an opportunity to drink that energy drink to get that faster run. Stalling out for Vard to get forward as well. You got to add that bounding tactics in. Texas is still alive.
Texas still alive, just trying to make their way in as well, but welcome to South George, facing a lot of resistance from Team MVP. Vard taken down and out by Payne G, leaving just Mirko to push on, but it looks like MVP has actually spotted out Knights as well, so Texas and Drayden are going to be the attention of some fire, but Mirko goes down to the SLR shots from Siege, and here comes Victory 5, trying to make their 4-man push right now. Quick knock onto Drayden, and now aiming their sights onto Texas. They will be finding the Knights, being eliminated in 4th place, just 3 teams remaining.
But a marginal overextension by them to take out the Knights, giving MVP the opportunity to finalize, get a kill onto them, to get some damage onto them, and they are pushing down. They want more. Literally taking a lot of damage. It's just, I believe, 2 players left from Victory 5 against the 3 standing of MVP, and then the single lone member of 17 still the center. 3v3v1 now because the revive did come through.
3v3v1 situation. Team 17 in a wildly different position than they were previously in just a minute ago. MVP wrapping around the northern side of the circle, trying to clear all of the edges. They will be walking up onto Ellison right now, taking him down and out. If they just continue to wipe around and just essentially dragnet this area, they're just going to take everyone down and walk away, ending the day, Cameron, day number 1, with a beautiful win.
Let's see if they can't finish it, but they are in a very strong position to do so. There are only 2 members left of separate solo teams that they have to find out. Taking it slow right now. They're not going to push forward if they don't have to. There's still 19 seconds before the circle even begins to close into our final phase. And so there's going to be slowly wrapping around using the buddy system so they can keep as many alive as possible. They walk over a snake that you don't spot. It can actually deal some pretty heavy damage. So they want to make sure that they're at least there for the immediate trade if one of their members does get taken down.
Absolutely. You think about it, if one of their players does get dropped, it makes it into a 2v1v1 situation, and those odds are not good, especially in these types of scenarios, especially in the competitive scene where the shots of these players are so on point. But here it goes. MVP not overly aggressive, not going to be pushing too far out, just trying to watch different angles, making sure that they have this sort of 3-man triangle of lines of sight covered, and they need to be careful because these 2 solo players are directly to the southeast of their position. QMCC for Team 17, and then Lanrin for Victory 5.
So they know the general area that Lanrin is at. They don't know who the 5th player is in the server. If they're amazing at counting the kill feed, maybe they can figure out that it's QMCC from 17, but otherwise they just know that it's a single snake. And even if they knew who it was, they have no clue where he is, which is why they're making sure to have their due diligence watching every single hidden angle as possible.
Absolutely. In 5 seconds until this 8th circle shrink will conclude, leaving us with our final 9th circle of our final game of day number 1. And here it is. The circle is done. It will be collapsing in on itself, and it's only a matter of time before this game is over. But will it be the 3 players of MVP who come out on top, or will the 2 solo players work almost in tandem to wipe out this threat?
MVP are in a really strong spot to finish this, not just because of their manpower, but because of their position. They're not dead center, but they know that the only 2 spots that are hidden from them right now are going to be forcing these solo snakes to crest over a hill, giving MVP an easy opportunity. Oh, but if QMCC, if he's been paying attention, he may know that Landrin is down below him. He may want to go for that fight to at least get himself a guaranteed second.
Yeah, I mean, certainly any kill is going to be 7 points as well. So whatever you can do to add to your team's kill point total, or just point total in general, is going to be huge. Certainly we've seen some tournaments be decided by a matter of a few points, which a kill could make up for. But here it comes. Certainly this player from Team 17 knows that Landrin is there. He's throwing grenades in his direction. One more coming in. Will it be able to find its connection? Probably not. Landrin dropped down to about 40% HP as he tries to push in. Some shots coming out. Some blue damage taken by QMCC, trying to spray down onto Siege. And that's going to be MVP wiping out Team 17 in 3rd place.
QMCC with those nades that Landrin threw out. He knew that it was there, but he's able to get a drop beforehand. Landrin, if he got the second, but unfortunately it's not going to be the case. PNG gets the final kill, and it's going to be MVP with the 5th victory of day number 1.
Yeah, what an incredible game that MVP was able to conclude our day 1 with, walking away with the chicken dinner and the good feeling now before they go to rest up for day number 2, knowing that they ended so well. But Cameron, I mean, just an incredible day of games that we've had. Hey, this game in particular, it was kind of interesting how it played out at the very end there. Team 17 and then also Victory 5 just sort of snaking in, and M19 just had to just sit back and wait for the opportunities to present themselves, which ultimately